Some cassava varieties cures HIV and even hepatitis, a fact or a myth. At the end of this video, you, the viewers, should be able to answer those two questions by yourself, whether cassava cures HIV or even cure hepatitis. Yes, to answer that question first for your own perusal is no other person than your favorite farmer who has been in the system for over 25 years. Yes, who has actually worked with root and tuber crops for over 18 years. I'm the only person that has come up and bold enough to be able to answer this question. Yes, some time ago, some persons called me when I was in Benue State. I told us that I was in Benue State for over 18 years. I just came down to Abia State about a year or 2 years ago. I have been in Benue State, as I said in that video, and I really got some experience spanning over 25 years. That qualifies me to answer this question. And this experience has to do with mainly root and tuber crops, but general agriculture. But I decided to carve this niche on root and tuber crop because of the wide nature it has really spread and its importance when it comes to feeding the world. Good. I was trying to say something that some persons called me and was asking me some questions that we had at you people, when I say you people, National Root Crop Research Institute brought cassava to our state, that is in Benue State. You know, at a point, Benue State was known as the highest HIV state in Nigeria. So I got to understand that some persons, either aggregators or I don't know, actually brought in cassava stem. So in a bid, okay, that should be a cooperative society. In a bid to convince farmers, knowing fully well that that state has a prevalence of HIV, they now use that as a jingle. Now, I answered them the question, which I am going to explain in this video. And I was able to convince them. And I want to believe also that I will be able to convince you at the end of this video, whether it's a myth or a fact that cassava really cures HIV. But before we continue, I want to plead with you to please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and comment on them. It will really go a long way in helping me cover a lot. Yes, to have a very large subscriber base. In 2011, the National Root Crop Research Institute Umudike, in collaboration with IITA Ibadan, released some cassava varieties known as yellow root cassava varieties, otherwise called biofortified cassava varieties or yellow cassava, any one you want to call it. It's either biofortified cassava varieties or yellow root cassava varieties or provitamin A cassava varieties. But before we continue, I want to plead with you to please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and comment on them. It will really go a long way in helping me cover a lot. In 2011, they were able to release about 3 varieties, namely Omocast 36, Omocast 37, and Omocast 38, otherwise known as TMS 01, 1368, TMS-01 1371, and TMS-01 1412. These are the varieties that were firstly released in 2011. The actual aim of releasing these varieties, as I said, is to improve the consumption or the intake of provitamin A in children and pregnant mothers. We normally catch them young because we have seen the rate of blindness in the country. So breeders thought it wise to focus on helping people improve their sight. I think the point now, improve their sight. The idea of going to cassava was the fact that cassava is a staple food. Over 80% of every Nigerian and African family consume cassava and cassava products every day, at least once in a day. I said over 80% is a fact. Over 80% of African homes consume cassava and cassava product at least once a day. So that is the idea behind going for cassava. And you know that cassava is a hard crop that survives anywhere. So every farmer should be able to produce or cultivate cassava in his or her backyard anywhere, both in small scale and in large scale. So that was the idea of going for cassava, so that at any given time in a day, people consume cassava. So they will be able to consume vitamin A. You know how expensive some of those fruits that contains vitamin A are, especially carrot, beetroot, red pepper, yellow pepper, tomato. They are really expensive in the market. So the cheapest form of consuming this vitamin A is through cassava. That was the idea of going for cassava. Now, farmers now have these varieties in their farms. Recently also, we have released more varieties of provitamin A. We have the one we call Headmaster, we have No Hunger, we have 359, we have Sunshine. The Sunshine is another name for one of those early release varieties. So the aim of this variety, as I said earlier, is to improve, not to cure, to improve the eyesight of many farmers through the consumption of these varieties. And also, recently, many farmers have complained that the garri does not last, that the garri does not have weight, and many complaints like that. So we have been able to explain to them the best way of processing this garri. Most times, when you use this cassava to do cassava chips, it does not last. The color, people have actually complained that it changes color. But some other persons I interviewed also confirmed that they are using it comfortably to mix with their corn. Now, I personally tried to explain to some farmers in villages when I was in Benue State how to go about processing this garri. This stemmed from the experience I got in our institute about value addition. I have told us also that I will take you on value addition of most of our crops. In our institute, we have a program known as PDP, Product Development Program, where value is added to all our roots and tuber crops. Yes, so in that program, you will be taught on how some of these varieties are processed or how value is added to each of those varieties. I have explained or I have taught many farmers, and I will still try to teach you here and promised you a practical video on how this cassava is processed. I have advised farmers to actually do not waste time while processing this cassava. You know, the manna that came from heaven in those days, they were asked to eat it fast. Even during the sacrifice, they were asked to tight their groin and eat the food fast. So also, I personally advise farmers to be fast in processing this cassava variety because of what you want to gain from it. What you want to gain from it will make you to actually be serious when processing this cassava. This cassava, after harvest, if it stays 2 or 3 days on the ground, it starts deteriorating. Yes, you start seeing what we call PPD. It starts getting spoiled. So, and as you continue processing with that deterioration, the color will also add to the products you are getting, either fufu or garri. So I have advised farmers to actually kickstart processing as soon as you are harvesting, as soon as you conclude harvest. The same day you are harvesting, the same day you are starting the processing of peeling. You try your best to do the peeling on that same day and possibly grate and press if you are doing garri. Okay. Then the next day or after, you can now fry the garri. You will compare what you have been doing before and now compare the current method you have used and see how bright the yellow color of the garri would be. I will show us a practical video on this. Also, when you are processing your fufu, you also try your best to do it in time. Sorry about that. To do it in time, you also start your peeling on that day and soak. And also, it has been advised that you consume your provitamin A cassava mainly in wet form, that is fufu form. That provides the carotene more compared to dry form, that is garri. That does not mean that the garri does not contain carotene, but it is higher in wet form than in dry form. Also, in wet form, the carotene stays longer compared to in dry form. Most persons keep their garri over a month or 2, and once the garri stays over, it depreciates. Not that it gets bad. Most garri, if not well fried, whether white garri or yellow garri, stays after 2 months will definitely start depreciating in quality. So we advise farmers, yes, you can cultivate yellow root cassava in large quantity, that is commercial quantity and also small scale. Yes, those that do it in large quantity are those that supply to confectionery companies, those that use the cassava product for the production of noodles. So, but for your own home consumption, we advise you to do the scale you can manage, mainly for your local consumption, for your family feeding, so that you can get the nutrients you are supposed to get from this cassava. You will ask another question: does food cure sickness? Food does not actually directly cure sickness, but rather it indirectly improves your health. So also, the yellow root cassava improves your eyesight, not cures HIV or cures hepatitis. There is no proven fact that yellow root cassava cures HIV. But those yellow root cassava that I have mentioned improves your eyesight because they contain provitamin A. That is the idea behind the cassava. It contains vitamin A and it helps improve your eyesight. In the absence of the finance to get vitamin A drug in the market, you happily go for your normal food of garri or fufu in yellow form, and you get your vitamin A through food. Also, I have said also that some of those fruits are expensive in the market. The only available one, the cheaper one, is this cassava, and which you can also comfortably cultivate in your backyard, in the comfort of your home. So with this, I want to believe that you should be able to know the actual reason behind the release of these yellow varieties, not for the cure of HIV, neither is it for the cure of hepatitis. So anybody circulating this information that cassava cures HIV, I want to believe that is a fallacy. So henceforth, you have known today that yellow root cassava does not cure HIV. Rather, it is meant to improve your eyesight, which has been also proven by some medical experts. So we ask you to find a place in your backyard and cultivate yellow root cassava, biofortified cassava. Also recently, the National Root Crop Research Institute also has embarked on another project breeding cassava that contains zinc. Because of the need of zinc in pregnant women and even aged people, they are trying to incorporate zinc into cassava. In the next years, the cassava will enter the market for our consumption. So please, I call on you to please try to keep a date with us. Follow us on this channel, subscribe to this channel, like our videos, and comment on them. It really goes a long way in helping us. Thank you for watching.